Our next topic focuses on the benefits of going beyond green when it comes to the workplace. We will get to know how building sustainable offices bring benefit to the workforce. Presenting this will be the CEO of Alliance Global Inc. and Chief Strategy Officer of Megaworld Corporation, Mr. Kevin Tan.
To our friends from the Manila Bulletin who have put together this sustainability forum, good morning and thank you for having me. It is my pleasure to be part of this forum and share how we are making sustainability a major pillar of our businesses at Alliance Global Group. The last few years have been quite challenging for all of us, yet filled with so many learnings, opportunities, and milestones. As we have grown as a company over the years, rapid changes have also come to the world where we operate and live in, particularly since the onset of the pandemic. With our country's strong and consumption-driven economy, we project all our business units to continue growing significantly in the next 10 years and beyond. With this, the biggest challenge for us now is how do we grow responsibly? How do we make our business sustainable and minimize our carbon footprint? How do we expand our company's role in a much broader global effort to help realize the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations? We have started to become more conscious and responsible for the long-term social, economic, and environmental impact of our businesses. We have already begun our journey towards a more sustainable future, and it started by having the right mindset, a sustainable mindset. We are particularly excited about our office business at Megaworld. Being the country's largest office developer and lessor, we continue to make sustainability a huge part of our office developments. Just recently, 4 of our office towers received gold and silver LEED certifications from the U.S. Green Building Council. This now brings our total count of LEED certified office developments to 17. One Paseo in Arcovia City in Pasig and Worldwide Plaza, the new home of JP Morgan Chase in Uptown Bonifacio, both received gold LEED certifications. Meanwhile, our corporate headquarters, Alliance Global Tower and Uptown Place Tower 3, both at Uptown Bonifacio in Taguig City, received silver LEED certifications. We continue to fulfill our role as advocates of sustainability and nation building with our vision to uplift lives, impact society, and help shape the nation. The desirability of our office properties remain high due to their location in Megaworld's various townships, where we put a premium on walkability and integration of our office buildings, residential condominiums, lifestyle malls, and hotels to different modes of public transportation. We also make it a point to highlight responsible indoor and outdoor water use in our office developments through water collection and recycling features, using recycled materials as components of our office buildings, improving air quality, optimizing energy use, and many other innovations. As the leading office developer in the Philippines, we feel it is our responsibility to take the lead in the market and offer the best buildings possible. We believe that having LEED certified buildings allows us to achieve that goal. Megaworld's first 2 LEED certifications were awarded back in 2014, and we are happy to have seen how it started a movement in the industry towards embracing sustainability. By having LEED certified buildings, we are able to contribute to the global effort to reverse the effects of climate change and improve the condition of the environment. This is very important now more than ever because in a post-pandemic setting, having LEED certified buildings also improves the working environment of every occupant within the development. Our plans moving forward includes having most, if not all, of our upcoming office towers nationwide certified by LEED. Our partners from the US Green Building Council recognizes this as the largest portfolio by far to be committed to LEED certification. More importantly, this is our way of supporting the protection and conservation of the environment as we continue building sustainable communities all over the Philippines. Earlier this year, two buildings under the portfolio of MREIT Inc., Megaworld's very own real estate investment trust or REIT company, made history by each receiving a powerful 4-star immune certification from the Healthy by Design Building Institute, or HDBI. This is particularly special for us because this is the first ever recognition of its kind in Asia. More importantly, these were also awarded to two of our office developments in Eastwood City, 1800 Eastwood Avenue and 1880 Eastwood Avenue office towers. A pair of first in the region recognitions for office developments in our first ever township development is something we are very proud of. The Immune Building Standard is designed to help mitigate the effects of the pandemic and other health threats by creating and promoting healthy buildings of the future. We hope to make this a benchmark across all office properties in our portfolio moving forward. This is a very important step for us to take, particularly with MREIT, which we intend to grow as the largest office REIT in Southeast Asia. The past year has truly shown MREIT's resilience. Our portfolio largely caters to the BPO sector, which continued to thrive during the pandemic. Today, MREIT's portfolio features a total gross leasable area of 325,000 square meters from 18 office properties located in 4 of our premier townships: Eastwood City in Quezon City, McKinley Hill and McKinley West in Taguig City, and Iloilo Business Park in the Visayas. On the social aspect, our group has made a commitment to generate about 5 million direct and indirect jobs in the next 15 years. We believe that 80% of the country is still quite underdeveloped. We see massive opportunities to be economic catalysts when we embark on large-scale developments, especially outside Metro Manila, which is what we are doing. This is why we are so heavily invested in helping the business process outsourcing sector grow. Take Iloilo as an example. When we entered Iloilo close to a decade ago, it was predominantly an agricultural economy. Today, the BPO sector is a major contributor to the local economy of Iloilo, and Megaworld has been very instrumental in helping drive that growth. As of last year, we were able to successfully corner about 70% of the total office leasing market share in Iloilo, with all our 9 completed office towers being 100% occupied by mostly BPO companies. This includes even the BPO companies that we were able to help bring to Iloilo for the first time. Today, we at Alliance Global Group continue to launch new townships, lifestyle malls, office, residential buildings, infrastructure projects, hotels and tourism destinations, production facilities, and quick service restaurants with sustainability in mind. The idea we have in mind when we started conceptualizing our townships back in the early 90s was to create a 15-minute city where people can access everything they need within just 15 minutes or even less. From supermarkets, shops, schools, churches, gyms, their offices, and more. Back then, we saw how quickly urbanization was happening in Metro Manila. And with that also came many challenges, including congestion and vehicular traffic. We knew there was going to be a demand for a place where everything will be convenient, where the security aspect will be sound, where everything will all be within walking distance and connected, and where you can live, work, play, learn, and buy all your essentials in the same place. Interestingly, this 15-minute movement was just recently discovered in Europe because of the changes brought about by the global pandemic. Today, they are looking to replan cities like Paris and Barcelona using this very same principle. And we are happy to say that we have been doing this here in the Philippines for over 20 years now. Through Megaworld's township developments, we continue to bring economic development in regions and key growth areas across the country. These smart and sustainable townships allow us to build a sustainable and thriving future filled with opportunities for many Filipinos. We have also been devoting more land and open spaces for greenery and regenerative forestry. We started this when Megaworld adopted and protected a 240-hectare forest in Miagaw, Iloilo. Our goal for this initiative is to help mitigate the effect of climate change while preserving and giving birth to new biodiversity and ecosystems for the next generations to explore. As a group, we want to be carbon neutral by 2035. This means that among other efforts, we intend to have our companies be 100% reliant on renewable energy. We have also identified the need to embark on major recycling initiatives. As you can imagine, with the scale of our communities, waste is also an issue for us. That's why we have worked with Plastic Credit Exchange to find solutions for us to be able to recycle our plastics and make them into building materials like cement, for example. It kind of bodes well for us because we can reuse these materials for construction since we are into real estate development. In light of all these milestones, we are delighted to share with you the recognitions that we have received over the past few years as proof of our continuing commitment to embrace sustainability. In early 2020, Megaworld celebrated three major recognitions from the Asset ESG Corporate in Hong Kong. These includes a gold award under the benchmark of environmental and social and governance for spearheading initiatives that anchored on building unique and sustainable environments. We were also given the Titanium ESG Awards in Investor Relations for building and strengthening our relations with our investors. Megaworld was also given the highly commended award under the Best Initiative in Innovation for our next level business strategy anchored on our iTownship program. Megaworld launched the iTownship program in 2018 as our way of building the townships of the future by marrying together innovation, integration, the internet, and interconnectivity across all our developments. And just last month, we received another distinguished award, the special recognition for ESG from Property Guru at the 10th Philippines Property Awards. We thank the organization for recognizing our efforts on empowering our people to become change makers, promoting ethical operations across our businesses, and continuing to fulfill our part in reducing our carbon footprint. Indeed, the eyes of all future generations are upon us now, and it is up to us to make sure that we do not fail them. Our journey towards a sustainable future for all has begun, and there is surely a lot of work to be done, especially in the coming years. The road ahead is not easy, but we at Alliance Global remain committed to helping create a more peaceful, more inclusive, and sustainable world for future generations. Once again, thank you to the Manila Bulletin for your continued support and for being our co-champion for a more sustainable future for every Filipino. Enjoy the rest of the day and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin Tan. Okay, now for the Q&A on how building sustainable offices bring benefit to the workforce. So, Kevin, the Alliance Global Tower is one of the templates of what sustainable office would be like. What has the reaction been from the actual people who work there? Are there particular features they point out that they feel makes it different from other buildings they've worked in before?
Well, when it's a LEED certified building, there are a lot of environmental or sustainable features. No? As I mentioned, things like we collect rainwater, for example, and reuse it to flush toilets, and to water the plants. No, and I think that definitely we've also invested in quite a lot in our air handling units as well. And these buildings tend to use a lot of natural light. That's as a way of conserving energy. So definitely the quality of the air, for example, the quality of the lighting, for example, are the immediate things, the first and immediate things that the people that work in these buildings notice first and foremost. But of course, I think most of these buildings, when you talk about the BPO sector, majority of the people working in the sector are of a very young age. No, they're in their 20s, they're in their 30s, and these are the people that have grown up already, understanding really the problems of climate change. No, and so these are students that is a generation that fully embraces and understands climate change. So a lot of these companies, the feedback that they get also is that they are kind of duty bound to go to LEED buildings, because it's not just about their responsibility, their ESG responsibility, but also because of the preferences of their employees to work for companies that support that have very strong support of these ESG goals. So and so that I think it makes a big difference. I think in how you motivate these employees to come back to work or to go to work every day. And so I think that's also what adds the significance of making our buildings sustainable.
You mentioned the Healthy by Design Institute. Could you give us some of the features that a building should have to get this certification?
Well, there are quite a number of features, and in fact, it took us about a year to prepare the buildings. Remember, a lot of new equipments and elements have to be put in there. Of course, we've also had to change our air handling units, AC system to add more ventilation. We also had to create an avenue for natural ventilation into the building as well. And then we also have to manage things like capacity on the elevators. So these are just some of the basic features. Of course, it's a long list of things we have to do. But we definitely have to prepare. But obviously, the pandemic had really taught us a lot.
When it comes to accreditation, sometimes people get confused. There's HBDI, LEED, EDGE, Verde, and WELL. So which do you prioritize and why?
They are certification to see how sustainable your building is, or how a building can reduce its carbon footprint. So there's a strong encouragement to use sort of renewable energy, like solar, or source from a renewable source or renewable energy source. Strong emphasis on waste management, strong emphasis on reusing rainwater or collecting rainwater to minimize again as well your consumption, and all these other green features. No, obviously that's now a big priority for us. From a business standpoint, it also does help. If you try to reduce your energy costs, it also does make sense from a business and an operational standpoint. Then you have, of course, immune, which is an upcoming trend. I think we were the first to actually do this for our office buildings. So that's now the new direction. Of course, it does take a while. We have quite a number of office buildings nationwide, but we are transitioning a little bit as well to the immune system. So I think we're going to be accrediting maybe another 2 or 3 more in the near future, or within this year. Until next year. But yeah, the priority would always be lead and then immune.
When you were pushing sustainability as part of the DNA of your corporate operations, was it sometimes difficult for the older generation to understand it? And do they sometimes resist because it means additional operating expenses?
Well, yeah, it looks like you've talked to a lot of companies, and you pretty much understand pretty much what we're all going through. Yeah, that is common. That is true. Yeah, there will always be resistance, especially from the older generation. And you're right. It does cost more, but but traditionally, you really do need to invest more, in building these LEED certified buildings. But our companies, we're always listening to the employees and seeing what they want, and they all overwhelmingly are saying we got to be sustainable, we got to look at the future. So I think it's been a conscious decision by everyone. I think that there's really greater recognition of that now, and greater acceptance, and we've just simply put it part of our capex already. We've really factored in that we're gonna have to invest. It's an investment for us at the end of the day, more than anything. But yeah, you're right. There's been always a resistance, and there always continues to be resistance. But I always tell them this is an investment for the future.
Any final message, Kevin?
We all need to work together. We need to all work harder, because this is everyone's job. And I think that if all corporations collectively have the same mindset, then I think that as a country, we can make a huge difference, and really paint a better future for the future generations.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin Tan, the CEO of Alliance Global Inc. and Chief Strategy Officer of Megaworld Corporation.